William Geer's a British artist, came to most prominence in England in the 1950s, but had spent a lot of time in France. He trained under Leger for a period, hugely influenced by Parisian modernism, returned to Britain in 1950 and really shook up the art world. He was doing very different sort of abstract work from his contemporaries at the time. And this exhibition really brings together the whole of his career.
He was Towner's curator from 1958 to 64. So as well as being an artist himself, he looked after the Towner collection, he acquired for the collection, he actually purchased 311 works, so made a significant impact on Towner, on its history, and on all the collecting that followed. He lived in the gallery. He had a studio at the gallery at the time, so not in the building that we're standing in now, but in the previous Towner gallery. It came with a studio and a house for him and his family, so he was able to work there, make his own work, as well as running the gallery, putting on exhibitions, and yeah, working on acquisitions.
There are many things that William Geer is the first for. He was the first abstract artist to be exhibited in the Royal Academy Summer Show. He was the first British artist to use silkscreen printing as a professional fine art form. He was the prize winner of a major 1951 Festival of Britain exhibition. And so he's a radical abstract painter who's now largely forgotten in British art history.
I think he's been forgotten for a number of reasons, one of which was a lot to do with his own personality and relationship to the art world in a way. He was quite a kind of a loner in some respects, and wasn't attached to a significant group of artists. So for example, although he visited St Ives once, he was never a St Ives artist. He spent lots of time in Paris. He had quite a European, international outlook. But I think because kind of the art world, the press, the media didn't have anything to sort of pigeonhole him or kind of put him into a category, he tended to be a little bit forgotten because of that. When Geer was a curator, I mean, I think he brought an artist's eye and sensibility to his collecting on behalf of Towner. And I think that gives something it gives an edge to your collecting in some ways. He was well connected, he was well networked, he knew a lot of artists, he acquired a lot of pictures through that network. And he supported artists, you know, contemporary artists effectively that were working, you know, at that time.
Many people might not have heard of William Geer, and so they should come and see this show because it really reappraises his place in British art history. It repositions him as an important abstract painter. All the way through the 1940s, the 1950s and into the 1960s. He was doing things that other British artists weren't doing, and this exhibition gives that whole career span.
I think people should come and see this show because it hopefully provides an insight into a painter that has been forgotten, and I hope that it's enlightening of the contribution that Geer did make to sort of British art history. You know, he was influential, he was pioneering, he was exciting, the works are vibrant, and you know, I think the show puts that across, that throughout his career he was doing some really groundbreaking things.